Right now, we're joined by Lanny Davis, former White House counsel under the Clinton administration, of course, a columnist at The Hill. And Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, 1 month late, all those things. A righteous Kwanzaa to you, Lanny Davis.
Well, Merry Christmas, Larry, and I don't mind saying Merry Christmas because it is a Merry Christmas for Christians and for Jews, too. We celebrate Hanukkah, but we also celebrate the Christmas spirit. I don't like this notion that we shouldn't be saying Merry Christmas, so let's start with that.
Thank you for that, Lanny Davis. And listen, Edward Snowden yesterday celebrated Christmas by giving a worldwide message saying, "You're welcome, world, for exposing the NSA and putting these secrets out here." I actually got into a heated debate with some Democrats last night at dinner over Edward Snowden, and I was surprised because I heard some real, anger about what Edward Snowden did from these Democrats at my Christmas dinner, but I don't hear that from the administration. You heard Barack Obama go out there and say, well, it's good that we're having this conversation. You hear Senator Ron Wyden in Oregon saying almost that Edward Snowden is a hero. I thought the Democrats were worried about national security, just like Republicans. Where are the Democrats on this?
Well, first of all, Edward Snowden's attacking Barack Obama and his policies. Make no mistake about it. Number two, Edward Snowden is talking about civil liberties from Russia, where he ran to in hiding, the place of non-civil liberties. Number three, he had an option to go to Senator Wyden and to go to many places within the government, including a whistleblower capacity within the NSA, and he didn't. And most importantly, I'm a member or former member of the Civil Liberties and Privacy Board, Privacy and Civil Liberties Board, appointed by President Bush, but created by Democratic Congress for exactly the purpose of a place to go to overlook these programs and to be sure that privacy rights and civil liberties rights were protected. As a member of that board, that was what I was there for as the only Democrat. And I know of three numbers that Mr. Snowden has never mentioned in his sanctimonious, I'm a hero, you owe it all to me speech from the civil liberties heart of the world, Russia. And those three numbers are 9/11. Has Mr. Snowden once mentioned those three numbers? Has he looked at the polls since his self-recognized heroism, which is his designation, that he is responsible for this great feat of opening a discussion? Has he once looked at the polls of what the American people have been saying to him, which is no, we don't think you're compromising programs, and he has compromised programs that threaten America, where we haven't had another 9/11. Has anybody asked Mr. Snowden, do you remember those numbers? And do you remember why there's an American democracy where there are places for you to go to like Senator Wyden? Or is this just about you and your ego and your claiming victory, which is the words that he used? So I, as one liberal Democrat, civil libertarian all my life, challenge his sanctimony, his hypocrisy, and I ask fellow Democrats to join me. And I do remind one more time, he's attacking Barack Obama. Make no mistake, Barack Obama approved all these programs, approved the drone attacks, and still approves what the NSA is doing. There needs to be some reforms, I agree, and that's all that President Obama has said.
All right, so listen, Lanny, those are very strong words, and like I said, you don't hear strong words like that from many Democrats right now. Maybe Dianne Feinstein's the only one who is as strong.
There are others besides Dianne Feinstein.
Yeah.
And I think Ron Wyden and Mark Udall are two people leading the reform effort, which I support, which I believe people at NSA support. For example, we need another voice in the FISA court, the court that reviews what NSA does. We need an adversarial voice to contest what NSA is doing, so there are things we should be doing.
So what do you say to the people? All right, listen, you can't have it both ways, though, Lanny. Some people will say, Lanny Davis, you're attacking Edward Snowden, but we wouldn't have these reforms. The president wouldn't have appointed the council that came back with recommendations last week, and federal judge Richard Leon wouldn't have made the ruling that he made about the NSA and the Fourth Amendment 2 weeks ago if Edward Snowden hadn't revealed these stories. I mean, he did serve a purpose, right?
And I would say that if he had gone to Senator Wyden and Senator Udall first, if he had taken the ability to go to the Privacy and Civil Liberties Board first and attempted to make these disclosures so that the whole world and the people who are out to get us, Al-Qaeda and all the terrorists, wouldn't know about a lot of these things, and he had failed, he'd have a much stronger argument. He didn't. What did he do? He went to China and then he went to Russia.
Right.
And then he anointed himself as a hero. So he never tried within the system to make these reforms. I think these reforms are needed. He didn't need to disclose to the world, in my opinion, in order to get these reforms.
And according to Edward Snowden, he didn't go to Congress, members of Congress like Senator Ron Wyden, because he believed that there's such a chill wind blowing in Washington right now that whistleblowers are actually demonized by the powers that be.
Let's say it very clearly. This is a false statement said by somebody who's a hypocrite. Because not trying in a democracy where the polls are against him, we worry about 9/11, but you still have Senator Wyden and Senator Udall with their doors open. You have the Civil Liberties and Privacy Board that is there in a classified environment to hear these concerns, to be watchful as an oversight. He is a sanctimonious hypocrite because he never tried. He pronounces himself caring about the conversation and democracy. He doesn't care about democracy. This is about one thing. This is not about 9/11. The numbers he's never mentioned once. Not once.
Yeah.
This is about one thing. It's about Edward Snowden's ego and nothing else.
All right. Lanny Davis, we'll leave it at that. Very strong words from you. You are all fired up this morning. You must have really...
Because I just got tired of this sanctimonious... When he claims the victory over what? Victory not over democracy, because he didn't try democracy. Victory in favor of civil liberties and disclosure? No, because he didn't come to a place where there are civil liberties under the rule of law called America. He went to Russia where he pronounces himself the hero. It's just time for liberal Democrats, civil libertarians, who support Barack Obama. And again, repeat, make no mistake, this is Snowden attacking the President of the United States and attacking our public and democratic institutions as not being capable of hearing the truth from Edward Snowden. Well, I think that I trust democracy over Edward Snowden.
So what should Barack Obama do about Edward Snowden? I mean, as long as Russia is giving him a safe harbor there, shouldn't we, not send a delegation to the Olympics? Shouldn't we start coming down hard on Putin?
Let me remind you again, Barack Obama has welcomed the conversation and the reforms. So do I. The question is, did Snowden have to blow the whistle publicly, or could he have done it differently?
Right, but he did. So what should we do about him?
Arrest warrant. Barack Obama supports an arrest warrant. If the guy comes to America, Barack Obama wants him arrested and prosecuted. If anyone on the left thinks that Barack Obama is on their side on this one, his words are, if this guy comes to America, he's going to get arrested. Doesn't sound like a Barack Obama that welcomes what Edward Snowden has done. He welcomes the conversation that could have occurred within our democracy and within our rule of law, not the way Snowden did it.
All right. Man, he's fired up. All right, Lanny. Listen, have a great weekend.
Merry Christmas.
You too.
Happy holidays to everyone.
Enjoy all your college football this weekend. It's bowl season.